Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me again, and today we are going to be talking about a highly requested topic, which is the application process to the Doctor of Chiropractic program at Parker University. We're going to go really specific into what exactly it takes to get into Parker, and then I'm going to give you my best 3 tips to applying to any chiropractic school. Okay, so to start off, we're going to go really specific, and I covered a lot of these points in my last video, but I'm going to put them up on the screen each step so that way it's a little more clear for y'all. And of course, as usual, DM me, email me, comment below if you have any questions about this, and I'm happy to answer y'all, or I can always reach out to the admissions team to get clarification for some answers for y'all. So number 1, you must complete 90 hours of undergraduate level coursework from an accredited university or school, of course. And you have to have a minimum 3.0 GPA. Number 2, 24 of those 90 hours have to be life and physical sciences, and they must include 1 human anatomy or A&P class and 1 general chemistry class. And then the third point that I'll make in regards to all of the 90 hours is 12 of those 24 life and physical sciences have to include a lab. So with that human anatomy class that you're already taking and that gen chem that you're already taking, if you could take labs with that, then that would contribute to the 12 lab hours that are required. But again, total you need 90 hours, 24 of those life and physical sciences, and then 12 of those 24 being labs. I hope that's not confusing. Number 3 is there's typically not an interview process. Other schools I know do require interviews. Parker does not, but it is up to their discretion. So if they feel like it's necessary, they can technically, interview you or request an interview, but it's not super normal for them to. And then number 4 is your credits should have been completed within 10 years of matriculation into the DC program at Parker. You want to make sure they're current and relevant to all of the information that you're about to learn. So next, I'm going to kind of describe the exact process that I went through. Okay, so the process that I went through was I reached out to admissions counselors about touring and getting to know more about Parker, and they invited me to Parker Power Weekend, which is still going on, by the way. It's just all virtual right now. So at the time, I was able to actually go in person with my parents, and so we went, and I was able to meet my admissions counselor in person, which was exciting. And I actually applied for Parker University there at Parker Power Weekend. They had applications readily available. They had all of the organizations on campus as far as like admissions and financial aid and all of the groups on campus. And so I was able to ask questions. They had speakers. President Dr. Morgan spoke. So it was a really great time. Students spoke. Highly recommend going to a Parker Power Weekend or attending it virtually while that's going on in 2020 to answer all of your questions, because that is going to be the most informative place to get answers to your questions about the application process and just about Parker in general. And so after I applied to Parker, I wrote my letter of purpose essay and submitted that along with my application. And I actually also submitted 2 letters of recommendation from 2 of my mentors. At the time, I don't think it was required. And I would highly recommend, and I'll get into this a little bit later, but I would highly recommend, even if schools don't necessarily require it on their application, go ahead and reach out to those doctors that you've hopefully been shadowing, or just mentors in your life, maybe academic professors, etc., people you've worked for, and get recommendation letters and go ahead and submit those with your application, whether it's required or not. That can go a long way. And then the last thing to do was to pay the application fee, which may be waived depending on your situation, but typically the application fee at Parker University is $75. And I've seen it go a little bit more expensive and a little less expensive than other schools. Like at other schools it's been more expensive maybe or less expensive, but at Parker it's $75. Okay, so now we've covered all of the specifics on how to apply for Parker University and what you need to do. Again, if you have any questions, just comment down below and I'll be happy to get that information for you. So now we're going to get into the fun part, which is my top 3 tips on applying to any chiropractic school. So number 1 is going to be networking. It is so crucial to start connecting with as many admissions counselors and or students at the school that you're planning on applying to. So I applied to almost every school in the United States, chiropractic school, not just school in general, chiropractic school in the United States. And with each of those, I was reaching out to admissions counselors and making sure that I was making a connection point. You never know how far that can take you when it comes to, meeting new students and meeting admissions counselors. Networking is just such an important tool in your tool belt to take with you throughout your entire life and your career. Number 2 is going to be research. Do your research when it comes to schools. Not a lot of students realize how different each school is until actually looking into them, or sometimes students may apply to just one school, go to that school, and then realize, oh my goodness, I had no idea that, XYZ, that maybe they weren't going to cover this topic or that topic, or that it was going to be heavily focused on philosophy versus evidence-based, etc. So make sure that you tour as many schools as you can, talk to as many chiropractic school students at each school that you're interested in, and also talk to as many graduates of those schools. What do their alumni say? What did their alumni think? Did they feel prepared when they came out of school, especially if they're in, a multidisciplinary office or just a chiropractic office with many doctors? Did they feel as competent, next to somebody who graduated from a different school as them? How were their adjusting skills compared to, those other doctors or other doctors who graduated from chiropractic schools? Ask those questions because they can be very telling. And then number 3 is going to be professionalism. And if you've listened to any of the podcasts that I've been on as a guest, you will know that this is like my number 1 topic to talk about, and my biggest tip that I give pre-chiropractic students and even current chiropractic students is to be professional. And so practical ways that you can be professional and practice professionalism is email. When you email an admissions counselor, make sure you have a strong introduction by addressing them by their first and last name, Miss So-and-so or Mr. So-and-so. Also, make sure that you're introducing your first and last name. And then also make sure you are direct with what you're looking for. Try not to make your emails vague. Try to get to the point and be specific. And then also, you may want to include something that makes the email a little bit more personable. Not too crazy, but something, if there's a holiday coming up, maybe ending the email with, I hope you and your family are having or are planning on having a great Thanksgiving if you are going to celebrate it. Or, if you knew that it was the person's birthday, maybe include, I hope you had a great birthday last week. Or it just makes things a little bit more personable. And then make sure that in your signature, you include your first and last name again. And if you can, go ahead and create a consistent signature at the bottom that maybe includes where you graduated from, a little history, your phone number, your email, etc. So those are my top 3 best tips to applying to any chiropractic school. Okay, that brings us to the end. I really, really hope that you enjoyed this video, and I would love to keep making more. So if you have any recommendations as far as topics that you want me to cover, questions you want me to answer, leave them in the comments below or DM me on Instagram at destination.dc. Make sure to give @CampusReelsOfficial a follow, and make sure you also follow @Parker University to keep up with all things related to Parker. If you have any questions, let me know. I hope you'll have a great day. Bye!